Hello, in this video I'd like to show how we are going to use Audio2Face to drive the facial performance of the CC4, the character creator for exported character. So I'll actually, for this character, I export from Reallusion iClone, so I can include the body motion here, and notice that this character has some idle motion there. So this is Camila, and this is how she is currently when I open it. That's how I'm seeing. Very first thing, notice that Reallusion does use different app axis in the scene versus what we usually in default Audio2Face is set to. So when I open the scene, you notice that we are in Z up and the minus Y forward, and that's important because we will want to try stay on this axis for as long as we can. And the reason for that is that later on during the binding we're going to include some transform, and it's best to keep the transform at the origin, or at the that match the character as much as possible. Right now you see that when I open the character, the top node is at 000, everything is at the origin basically. So this is the full body USD scale that is exported there. um, and the when you're using the exporter, it will also include the A2F folder. This is with if you have the A2F mesh export enabled as well during the export. So this is where the A2F meshes will be, and there are two files included in here. One is the A2F, the other one is the A2F cavity. So if I try to bring this two in, just drag them in there and move them to the side. Okay, so the A2F mesh is just one mesh here, and this will be where we are working on for most of our A2F setup. This is have the consistent topology or point order, so that we can use our character transfer presets, our CC character transfer preset on this character, on this mesh, and it will just work. um, and any of the character exported from character creator will have this consistent topology, so that is great. The other mesh, the other file, which is the cavity, is the this one here. So it includes the top teeth, bottom teeth, and the tongue in as a separate prims. It also includes one more geometry. This is the helper triangle geometry that we use for if we want to try to drive this bottom teeth when we don't have full face. So previous versions of Audio2Face, when we use the regular core, then we have to make use of this triangle to try to drive this the teeth and tongue. But now, as we are going to use full face, we do have a section that will drive this part, including the tongue as well with the deformation. So those are the extra meshes. Again, these are great, same topology all the time. And now we go back to this mesh. First thing notice is that if I select the skin where we will be, operating, do our setup most, this main body skin contains extra geometries, which are the arms, and whichever they are exposed here. This is in the exporter, I chose the option to delete the hidden polygon faces, so anything that are not visible, they are hidden here. And um, sorry, they are deleted. So this mesh potentially may have different topology, um, and definitely they are different in the with the face, because again this doesn't include the rest of the body. And so when such thing happen, we can no longer just use point index to drive this mesh, so we'll have to use try to reference them by proximity. So, and we provide the prox deformer for this, so it's easy for us to just use this mesh to drive this using our prox UI or prox deformer. So that's not an issue. And our deformer also includes max distance, basically a proximity threshold that we will ignore anything further than certain unit. So that's great. It means that we can ignore the rest of the body. Now, one of the challenge here is that this mesh also includes the eyelash. So if you see that when I selected, the eyelash is also getting highlighted there in part of this mesh. And in theory, they can just be driven the same way. It's just different topology. We'll just drive it by proximity from the skin mesh. Now, the problem is that the eyelash, if we just use pure proximity to do that, you notice that the eyelash here is pretty long, and the top here at the top of the eyelash, the closest point or proximity point is closer to the eye folds rather than where the base of the eyelids are, which means that when, say, if the eye blinks, some portion of the eyelash will follow this one, will go down, but then the top part of it will stretch because it's following the eye folds, which probably will stay up here when the character blinks. So so that's not good, and means that we will need to find a way to try to make the deformation of the eyelash a bit better. So there's that. I think this one is fine. I can hide this now, the skin, and we'll see the rest of the geometry that we have to work with. Let's start from the top. Here we have the eyebrows. Eyebrows are generally pretty easy to do. We just use proximity bind. We use our skin to bind to drive this mesh to drive everything by proximity. That's not an issue. Usually they are pretty short, and the eyebrow area is usually pretty open, so we don't have to worry about things being bounded to the wrong points, unlike the eyelashes. So eyebrow easy, just use prox deformer, and that should solve the issue. So the next one is the eyeballs. Now eyeballs here, if you have seen the full face setup, we do require the eyeballs to be separated between left and right eyeballs, and right now these eyeballs are merged together, so we'll need to have later on do something to get this separated to left and right eyeballs. So that's the eyeballs. Next is the mouth here, inner mouth, and this is where the cavity file comes in. In the full body mesh, the three meshes, the top teeth, bottom teeth, and the tongue, are all merged into one big, maybe that I'm wrong. Tongue is fine. Tongue is actually separated. Only the top teeth and the bottom teeth are merged together. So in that sense, we can, because this tongue will have the same point order, same topology as this tongue, later on we can immediately just connect them through their point index, so that's not an issue. But this two will need to use prox deformer for that. Let's see if there is anything else. I guess that's all for the whole meshes, and we can then go to the next steps to prepare the meshes.